Welcome to Amazing Business Radio with best-selling author and customer service and business expert, Shep Hyken. Shep will talk with some of the smartest thinkers in business to help make you more successful in your professional and personal life. This is Amazing Business Radio with Shep Hyken.
Hello, everyone. It's Shep Hyken here. We are back with another episode of Amazing Business Radio. This week's guest is Mark Williams, the head of customer care at Samsung Electronics America, a very innovative electronics manufacturer. I'm going to bet that most everybody listening, if not pretty much everybody, has at least one Samsung product, whether it be a phone, earbuds, TVs, washing machines. They do it all. And these guys are amazing. And I can't wait to share the story about how focused they are on customer service and customer experience with this audience today. All right, before we get into the interview, a quick announcement. If you've got an amazing customer service story that you want to share with me, please reach out on any of the social channels. And if you have a question, same thing, any social channel, use the hashtag AskShep. I'll answer the question right there in the social channel on this show or on my website. I have a newsletter. You can subscribe to it. And sometimes I take some of the stories and questions and make that part of my weekly article. You can subscribe to that by going to hyken.com, HYKEN.com. And if you'd like to pick up a copy of my annual research, it's there free of charge. And all you got to do is click on a button. You don't even have to give me an email address for that. It just automatically downloads right to you. All right, let's jump into our interview with Mark Williams. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shep.
So
good morning.
I love to work with people that are in the trenches, that are and interview people that are doing it and actually in there making it happen day in and day out with the customer service and experience function for their companies. But you're not just, you're in a trench, but you're a very high part of the trench in that you're the senior VP for really customer service in all of the United States. And I love that you are this thing called smart service. And that's where I want to start, because as I was learning a little bit about it, reading through some of the talking points, one of the things we talked about just before we started the interview is, let's talk about smart service. So what is smart service?
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. And I'm very fortunate to work for such a great company that makes incredible products, a wide range of products. I'm not sure if there's any company in the world that can compete with the range of products that we make, and they're awesome products. So I'm responsible for, and my team, we're responsible for taking care of them from the time they launch until end of life. And smart service, thank you for asking about that. That's a pretty cool thing that we're rolling out. So you may or may not know, but a lot of our devices and our home appliances, etc., are IoT enabled. So we have smart things embedded in the products. And if a customer has those connected to the network and they opt in, we have the ability to monitor them. So in a good way. So
you're not looking at my text messages.
No. But here, let me give you an example. So let's say your refrigerator is connected to the network and you opted in, and we can monitor that. And if we see the temperature is trending up, we can take action. So the first thing we might do is number one, you'll get notifications, but if you happen to miss those notifications, we can reach out to you and we can give you some tips on things you could do that might correct it. Like it maybe, you might be home for the summer and your kids are home for the summer and they left the door open. So it could be something that simple as that. It could be, your fan is clogged, or something's blocking your exhaust. So it's trending up. Or
you're warning us. By the way, do you have will you actually give us the proper punishment for the kids who've left the
Yes. They have to go outside and play outside, which seems to be a punishment for kids these days, but it's actually a good thing. But no, just kidding. So they the other thing, if it looks like it's something you can't correct, then what we can do is get ahead of it and we can schedule service and try and get there immediately or as soon as possible. And the key thing there is, we want to get there before bad things happen, before your food spoils.
Yeah.
So it's
just
a really good
with
way.
A refrigerator, freezer. I mean, you've got TVs and phones,
washing
and
machines,
earbuds, and washing machines. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Yeah.
Anything that's IoT enabled, and you opt in. So it's something that we're starting to roll out now, and we're excited about it because I think it'll help us with everything else that we're trying to do. Get to people quicker, get to them and solve their problems before they even know they have a problem.
So it was a number of years ago. I'm driving down the road. I hit a pothole, and about, I don't know, 3 minutes later, I get a phone call from the car dealership saying, "Hey, your car is out of alignment."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And at first, it kind of freaked me out. How do they know? I looked around. Are they following me?
Yep.
And then I realized, hey, I'm connected. And I mean, I really hit the pothole big.
Hmm.
So, and I love that. So, what's the impact? I mean, give me an example. How surprised are customers when they first get that initial, whether it's an email, a text, or some type of message that says, "Hey, we noticed," fill in the blank. Are they appreciative? Are they a little creeped out? Do they get it? I mean, I know they had to have opted in, but a lot of people don't understand the power of what they just opted into in a positive way.
Right. All right. And I mean, I think for the most part, they have the same reaction you had. At first, they're like, what? Even though they have opted in, but then when you're able to solve the problem, they're very delighted. They're very happy. And then if you think about it going forward, all their products, they have a peace of mind, right? Because it's like they know that they're protected, they know that they're covered, and they know that they don't have to worry about it because we're kind of watching for them, and we'll help them out when they need it.
Yep. I love that. I love that. And I would imagine that the first time that happens, somebody's going to say, "This was a great experience. I'm going to start buying Samsung everything." And I know that's part of what you're trying to do. So I'm going to break from what your talking points are here, and I want to talk about just exactly that. When customer experience and customer service becomes a revenue generator, a profit center, a way to maintain and create loyalty rather than just fix problems. Tell me what your philosophy is for that, Mark.
I mean, that you said it perfectly. So that is our North Star. Basically, every time we have a customer interaction, whatever that is, customers will reach out to us. It could be they just want to know how to use their product. They want to know how to enable features or how to use different features, or it could be it's broken and they need it fixed. They drop their phone and it's cracked screen, or their washing machine isn't working, whatever it is. But any interaction we have, our North Star is we want to turn that into a great experience. We, number one, solve their problem, but make a great experience out of it. And we want them to, the ideal thing is we hear them afterwards say, "I'm so happy with this. Every product I buy going forward will be Samsung," which
That's
is
music
really
to your
important to
ears.
us. Yeah. I mean, it's important to us because look at all the different products we make. We don't just make home appliances. We don't just make cell phones. We make all these products. So to get people to stay in our brand, and even
Yeah.
to take it, Shep, to take it one step further, I'm a little greedy. I want to go one step further. I don't want them to just say they're going to purchase our products for the rest of their life. I want to turn them into promoters. I want them to say they're going to tell all their friends about it, and they're going to encourage them to do the same. So that's really where we're trying to head.
Are you using a metric like NPS, Net Promoter Score, to find out if they are willing to refer?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. I mean,
So that's
that's
one question. There's a follow-up question to that.
yes.
Fred Reichelt, who actually is the grandfather of NPS, and at his age, he could almost be the great-grandfather. We joked. We were on a program together recently on a panel, and we had fun with that. We've known
I
each
saw
other.
that.
Oh, were you there at the event?
No, I watched it on YouTube.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yep.
cool. Cool. Well,
Hmm.
thank you. Anyway, so one of the things Fred said is the metric on the scale of 0 to 10, what's the likelihood you'd recommend us? If somebody gives you a 9 or 10, that doesn't make as big a difference as did they actually do it? It's at one point, the willingness to do it was one thing. And so many companies, according to him, they're gaming this survey. It's a vanity metric. They're looking to get that high number, and they do a good job. But the question is, are these people really doing the referral? Do you have a way to track? And I realize this is a little bit outside of the customer service support experience, but do you have a way to track new customers coming in that are based on old customers saying, "You've got to buy Samsung"?
Yeah. We don't. Or maybe we do. I don't. That's not something I look
I
at.
didn't mean to trip you up on that one. I just
No, but you know what? When you bring up NPS and you bring up the score and everything, and the NPS score is nice, right? Yeah, we always look at it. But to me, what's more valuable is reading the customer comments, like good or bad,
Mhm.
because that's how you truly improve.
Yep.
So when you hear about a bad experience, unfortunately, we have some of those. Um, we take that personal, and then we determine what caused that, what was a root cause, and what are the corrective actions we can put in place so that it never happens again.
Mm.
So it is something we look at.
Are there other metrics that help guide your success metrics, if you will?
Yeah, I mean we're Samsung, so we love KPIs. We have KPIs and everything. So a couple things that are really important to us in service that really it all leads up to customer experience, but speed is something we measure,
Mhm.
and then quality. So quality, and especially on the service side, it's around repair quality. So when we do a repair, if we do it right the first time, it would be a horrible experience if I fix your phone and then 2 weeks later you have the same problem and you have to come back and get it fixed again. So
That's
those are,
kind of akin to let me transfer you to somebody else and let me have them repeat the story, the customer repeat the story, and that happens 3 or 4 times.
horrible.
I wrote an article, and every week I do a cartoon, and the cartoon was the customer journey map from inside the company. They said, customer calls us with a problem. We transfer them. They repeat their story. We transfer them. They repeat their story. We transfer them. And then the agent says, I'm sorry, that's not my department.
Yeah. Oh, that just sounds like a nightmare.
But it's a gross exaggeration. But at the same time, this is what some customers experience with other
Mhm.
organizations that aren't quite as focused on what you're doing.
Right.
Yep. Hey, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about what you refer to as your 3 core principles: speed, which you just mentioned, simplicity, and service, which we've been talking about, but I want to embellish and add on to that. Well, it's time for a break. Let's take a short one. We've been talking with Mark Williams, head of customer care at Samsung Electronics America. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Shep Hyken here with an offer that won't cost you a cent. You may have heard me talk about my annual customer service and experience research. We've surveyed thousands of customers matching the U.S. Census for age, gender, ethnicity, and geography, and we find out what customers love, hate, and want in a customer experience. What's the number one customer experience that almost every customer desires? What makes them come back? What makes them leave? Why won't they fill out surveys? What do they think of AI? Well, these questions and more are answered in the research. You can download the full report by going to hyken.com and clicking on the research tab at the top. Like I said, it won't cost you a cent, but it may make you or save you thousands and thousands of dollars when you understand your customers' expectations. Again, the website is www.hyken.com.
You're listening to Amazing Business Radio with best-selling author and customer service and business expert, Shep Hyken.
We're back on Amazing Business Radio. We're talking with Mark Williams, head of customer care at Samsung Electronics America. And I promised we would be talking about your core principles, the 3 S's: speed, simplicity, and service. And let's go ahead and start with speed.
Sure. Thanks, Shep. So, I mentioned that's one of the KPIs we measure. So speed is really important for us. When your product is broken or it needs to be fixed, you don't want to be without it for a long time. So we really measure speed in 2 ways, depending on the product type. So starting with mobile phones, so first of all, before I talk about speed, let me tell you about coverage. So we measure how much of the US that we can cover. On the mobile side, 81% of the United States is within a 30-minute drive of our same-day service. So we have same-day repair shops set are across the United States. We have a couple partners that we work with on that.
Wow.
81% are
that's
within
like a
30
Walmart
minutes.
statistic. Like 9 out of 10 Americans are within 2
Yeah.
miles of a Walmart or something like that.
It's pretty high. And
it is very, very high. Same day service.
Same-day service. And this is important because if you just think about the United States, it's a big place. And 73% of US households have at least one Samsung product. And then if you take it even further, 27% of US households have 3 or more products. I'm not
I
sure.
fall into that.
You're one of those.
I'm
That's
one
good
of
to hear.
those. Yep.
Thank you for being a Samsung customer, Shep. So with the same day service, when we look at speed on a mobile repair, we look at how quick we can do it. So we measure. We're currently 90% of repairs are under 2 hours. So you come in, you can stay within your mobile phone. You give us our phone, your phone, we repair it and get it back to you, and you're walking out working in less than 2 hours.
Wow.
For the people that don't want to go to a store or are not within range, we still have 100% coverage. They can mail it to us. So we have a repair depot in Texas. They mail it to us. It's taking right now about from the time you ship it to the time we repair it and ship it back, it's about 5 to 7 days. We're really trying to get that down to 3 days, three and a half days. So 1 day shipping in, repair it in a day, and ship it back. That's what our goal is this year.
I have a metric I love to talk about called time to happiness. And it kind of ties into what you do, which is when the moment the customer has a problem is when it begins. Now, there's a gap sometimes between the time the problem starts and the time they reach out to you. And there's nothing you can do about that gap. But the longer it's there, for example, maybe it's my TV's giving me a problem. Now, I have mobile phone. I go down. I got to get that fixed right away.
You do.
No doubt about
Right.
that. But some of the other products, maybe it's my washing machine. And and maybe 2 weeks later, after frustration, I finally pick up the phone and I call you. And then when it's resolved, and so many of the times, and so many of the people we talk to on this show, their goal is somebody calls in, they have an issue, and the resolution is either taken care of right away or they're told what will happen, and then magic happens. And I can't say it automatically happens, but it happens pretty quick. And I think you're talking about the same thing. But time to happiness is finally at the very end. When am I finally happy? And if
Right.
done well, and in my 5-step formula for taking care of complaints and problems, it's acknowledge, apologize, fix it, or discuss fixing it. Own the situation if it comes in your lap. So you're going to work with the customer and do it with urgency. That's number 5, which is speed. So
Speed.
I can't emphasize you're so on to it. And with a company your size focused on a timeline that's that short, that blows me away. I can't tell you how many clients I have, especially even in the B2B world, where sometimes when a product goes down, these people need things fixed. They have to do a ticketed system, and it could be 8 hours, 24 hours before somebody gets back to you just to tell them more about the problem.
Yeah. Thank you. Right. So mobile, we're trying to get it under 2 hours. And then on the other side, our consumer electronic products, which could be anywhere from our digital appliances to TVs. That's a little tougher because those products are a little too big to carry into a repair shop. So we have to go to their houses. So that right there, we're averaging right now about 7 days from the time they first call to us figuring out what the problem is, getting the parts, scheduling a technician, and then arranging with the customer when we can go to their house and do the repair. It's taken us about 7 days. We were about 10 days last year, so we've got it down. However, we are trying to do a big paradigm shift. We want to do something big, and we just look at the way consumer expectations are, or what they have, and companies like Amazon, where you order something and they get it delivered in the same day. It's changing everything. It's changing the game. So
yeah,
I
the
think
expectation customers have is they've been Amazonized.
Yep. And you know what? That's fair.
Let's make them Samsonite.
We want to do that. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but we have some big goals to try and really crunch that down and really get it a lot quicker. But coverage on the consumer electronic side, right now we're over 99%. So 99% of the people in the U.S. that have a product, a consumer electronics product, we can go to their house and fix it.
Wow.
And we took a big jump last year. We launched a program called SBB, Samsung Beyond Boundaries, where typically technicians, they need to do about 6 to 8 repairs a day to have it make sense. So they schedule it where they go do a bunch of repairs. But what we did is we have a couple technicians in the SBB program, and we have them regionally throughout the U.S. that'll travel really far. So think about if you have a house in Montana, you're way away from everything else. in the past, we didn't really have a solution for you. We would either have to do, we would probably have to do an exchange or a refund for you. But now we'll send a tech and he'll drive 3 or 4 hours to do that repair. And our competitors are not doing it, and our customers are delighted with it. So it's a great thing.
Wow. Excellent. All right. So I think part of that is simplicity, but let's jump to the second S, which is simplicity.
Simplicity. We just want to make it easy. We want to make every interaction for our customers easy and painless and frictionless. One of the things that we have done recently is we actually set up a group within my organization that focuses on policy and process. And, you know, what they're looking at is any policy or process that's causing a bad customer experience. They take them one by one and figure out how to fix them. So they look for a root cause, come and put a corrective action in place that's going to solve that long term.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And are you journey mapping it out and looking for these friction points, or are customers telling you and you're listening? Or
it's both.
Yeah.
It's actually that. Sometimes it's other employees. So we had our town hall last week, and that was one of the things I spoke in it. And that was one of the things I said is, hey, if you're aware of something that's causing a bad customer experience, let us know. And it'll be something we add to the list and we start looking at.
So, and I know, again, not part of our talking points, but how easy do you make it for your own employees to share this information? Who do they go to? What's the process for saying, hey, I've got an idea, or I just heard something that you need to know about or hear about?
Easy. They email me, they email other people in the group, and we're a very open company. I want to hear the feedback. So yeah, I get a lot of emails.
That's great.
Good,
I'm
bad.
sure you do.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to jump to the general topic of service. So speed, simplicity, the third S is service.
Yeah. So, you know, it's back to what our end goal is. We want to make every service interaction a positive experience. So we turn people into lifetime purchasers and promoters of our brand.
It's that simple.
We're
back to number 2, simple.
we bounced around. Yeah.
Let's just cut to the chase. We want to be that good that you don't want to buy a different brand. And by the way, that's the choice. I mean, I call that the loyalty, a loyalty question. What am I doing right now that's going to make sure the next time the customer needs what we sell, they're going to buy from us and not the competitor? And if we focus on the next time, like what we're doing right now to get them back next time, every time they become lifetime.
Right. I mean, you know, Shep, here's the thing. And we make incredible products. Samsung makes awesome products. So, you know, that in itself should keep you in our brand. But if we can tie on a great experience when you need our help, why would anyone leave our brand? Yeah. There's no reason to.
Mm-hmm. Great product, which is a product that does what it's supposed to do, tie it into a great service experience, and that's hard to beat. All right, I've got this major brand we're talking to right now, Samsung, and I know you are doing some incredible things in the space of AI, artificial intelligence. How much of AI is being brought into the customer support world?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So yeah, we're definitely starting to get more involved with AI, and I mean, we're using it for different ways, but the best way to describe is that the way that we're using it is we're using it to enhance the people that interact with our customers, to make their life simpler so they can focus on their customer and solve their problem quicker and more accurately.
So an example of that would be?
Example is our call center agents. So you know, whether they're voice call center agents or digital call center agents, we have something where AI actually actively listens to the call and pushes content to the agent. So you could be calling me, I'm an agent, and you're talking about your washing machine issue, and the AI is pushing content on the customer on my screen showing, oh, these are different tips and tricks to solve that issue. Mm-hmm. So instead of them in the past where the agent would be talking to you and then, could you hold a second? And then they're looking up information to try and solve that problem. Now it's already there. So the conversation naturally flows. They can solve it a lot quicker, and they've got the information there.
Right. Then they can, if they don't have to be searching for information, they could be focusing on the relationship building, showing a little empathy, sympathy, and care for the customer. Right. Do you ever see, and by the way, interesting, before I was going to ask this question, you just made me think. Do customers ever interact with AI when they're dealing with customer care at Samsung?
Not yet, but we are going to launch a chatbot that's for simplistic things that we're going to obviously monitor and we can get it to a person if necessary. But yeah, so not yet, but we will launch that this year.
That's exciting. Very exciting. Do you ever see a point where AI is going to start to replace employees?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I don't want it to tell you the truth. Like, I see more as, I don't see AI as a replacement. I see AI as an enhancement to make the experience better, to let the customers focus, or to let our agents focus on customers. I mean, I want the human interaction.
I
We
love
are
that.
humans solving human problems.
Yep. And you said it perfectly. I don't want it to be a replacement. I want it to be an enhancement. The way you're using it right now is exactly that, enhancing the experience. All right. We are down to the final question. I warned you this was going to come. It is what we refer to as the one thing question. What is the one last thing, one nugget of wisdom, one idea, something you'd love our audience to know about?
Well, I'm glad you already talked about smart service, and we talked about that. That's something I'm very excited about. But I think just the only thing I was going to say is Samsung. We are a company that is always focused on continuous improvement, and we're never happy. We will never settle. It doesn't matter what we're doing. And when you combine that with customer service, and I'm very fortunate to lead this team. We were looking at this last week. So we've got a huge organization across the U.S. to take care of the United States, but over half of our team has been with Samsung for over 10 years.
Wow.
So we're very loyal people that love Samsung. We love our customers, and we know it's our job to take care of them. So I guess the thing I would leave you with is we will never stop trying to improve the experience. I don't think we'll ever get to a point where we'll say, oh, we're done. So we are going to always keep working to improve it and make things easier for our customers.
Right. Well, and I'm going to say there's a second part of that, but let's recap all of this in this last question. Number one, loyal customers is what you're looking for. Number two, you have loyal employees. Tenure in the support world, like you're talking about, of 10 years and longer is an unbelievable number. Continuous improvement, not just in the advancement of the products and the technology, because you have really, really cool stuff that you sell, but also continuous improvement in the experience that the customer has with you. I think when you combine all of that together, I don't know, it's a win-win-win-win combination. And that's why we call this Amazing Business Radio. Mark, you've shared some great ideas. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Shep.
All right, everybody, that wraps it up. Another episode of Amazing Business Radio. We'll be back next week with another interview. Until that time, this is Shep Hyken reminding you to always be amazing.